I'm fucking well aware. That's my safe space too. And I'm like, she followed me down there. I don't know what she was thinking, but now she's down there. And
Oh
I don't
no.
know why this drunk chick just followed me down there, and security didn't do shit to stop it. And so I was like, okay, whatever, let's go on with the rest of the night. And for the rest of the night, she was all over me. I was out on the catwalk dancing, and she comes over and she starts trying to dance with me and shit. And I'm kind of like looking at the security guards.
Mm.
Aren't you guys going to do something about this? And they were like, no, we're not doing a damn thing about this. And they're like, we can't. Her whole teams have been paid to be here. So it's kind of like, fuck, all right. It was the
Mm.
grand reopening of our club.
Well, that's how they are. They just like go wherever they want. Like they run the place, honestly.
It's that special privilege.
They've never been told no.
Yeah,
Was it the brunette one or the blonde? There's two sisters.
the blonde. It was the blonde.
Oh, the drunk. Yeah. I think her name's Kimberly.
She was drunk.
I think her name's Kimberly.
Yeah. And what's funny is all these tabloid magazines started popping up, and they wrote this like little short article about her saying, oh, she was dancing provocatively all over the male stripper at this club, and this is this and blah, blah, blah. But those motherfuckers didn't include a picture of me. I was like, you sons of bitches.
So you knew she was famous by then?
I didn't know who she was until she was like all up on stage groping me and shit.
Okay.
And then somebody else kind of mentioned, she was like, oh, that's Paris's aunt or something like that. I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't really give a shit, to be honest with you. And then later on, somebody's like, oh, she's in that show. Oh, okay, that makes sense. I 100% try to capitalize on that shit. I reached out to that tabloid magazine and I was like, hey, I got videos of her fucking dancing with me up on stage. Like, what's up? You know, you guys gonna do something about this? Nah, fucking dead story already. So I was like, man, all right, cool.
Yeah, when the story's dead, is dead.
So Paris was fucking hella cool to me. And this is around the same time that she had that show. What's her name? Richie?
Nicole Richie, yeah, The Simple Life.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So she had that show, and so the only thing that I've really seen her in regards to her talking and just being herself, whatever, just made her look really stupid. But when I met her in real life and we actually had like a cool conversation, she did not come across that way at all, and she was super
Yeah.
sweet. So that's one of the first times that I had interaction with a celebrity where their in-person persona was different from their on-screen persona. And I thought that was just really cool. She was just super nice and
Yeah.
super cool. And she invited me to come hang out in their VIP booth when they were done. But we were given specific instruction not to. So I was like, yeah, I'll come kick it. But I wasn't allowed to. So I was like, so I didn't go that route.
Yeah, she's hot. You know, we were in the VIP and she lost her purse and she's like, oh my God, where's my purse? And it was a Dior purse, a white Dior. I see it in a lot of her photos, but I found it.
Did you go through it?
She looked at me and was like, oh my God, my purse. So I helped her get it. It was like, it went behind the couch. But
Oh,
later I was
wow.
like, see, I didn't know she was a rich girl. I didn't know who she was. I mean, I knew there must be something with her. And I remember years prior, I kind of heard about these bratty, spoiled socialite girls. Because one time she got in a magazine and it showed her breasts and they had printed it and they didn't know because her breasts are so small. She was leaning forward, full on breasts in the magazine. So I remember this was before she did The Simple Life. And so when she came up and just her persona, her attitude, her look and everything, I just assumed that was the girl. She just has this like entitlement, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, that's probably that Paris girl. I didn't even know her name, actually, that it was Paris. I just kind of heard about her because, you know, she wasn't officially famous.
Right. I learned quite a bit about her because I used to date her cousin. She used to tell me a bunch of stuff about her, and I was kind of like, oh, really? And like the family drama and shit like that. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, I never thought that I would kind of have like a connection to that. But even after hearing all this stuff about her from my ex at the time,
Mm-hmm.
it didn't line up with who she was when I met her. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, did you hear that she was in some kind of lockup girls' school?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And she got it in there. Like her mom had, in the middle of the night, had these men come and pick her up. And she thought she was getting kidnapped.
Damn.
Yeah. Talk about drama and trauma. But
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah. So it was some kind of girls' school. So now she's doing some court stuff, and she's fighting to get all that stuff shut down.
Good for her.
Like they put her in the hole naked, and man, it was crazy. She said they did late at night they would do vagina exams on her and pretending it was like medical.
So was this a news interview that she did, or is this in a book or something that we can find details on it?
Oh, it's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
That happened to me too. I went to bad girl school.
You called it a reform school or something like that, right?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay. Damn, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's real crazy.
So back to Holly, I was curious about her relationship with Hef and how at first she just wanted to become one of the girlfriends, and then she wanted to become his main chick, and then she started dating him. She was roughly about 22 when she first came on the scene with the girls, because she was his girlfriend from like 2001 to 2008, and she was 22. And the thing that I heard her say was that she was like, oh, well, I lost myself, and he kind of drained my personality out of me, basically. And that's actually something that I hear from women a lot who date someone, who start dating somebody in their early 20s and then they stop dating them in their late 20s. I know that like there's a biological thing that happened in all humans' brains. That your brain doesn't fully form until it's like
5.
It's 26 for men, it's 25 for women. And as your brain finally fully forms, your personality drastically changes for most people during that time. So I'm wondering that this kind of narrative where people are saying like, oh, you know, he sucked the life out of me and I lost myself. And I hear that a lot. I lost myself because of this relationship. I'm wondering how much of that is just growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when you're younger, you take a lot of things like it catches you off guard. It's the shock factor, and you just kind of go along with it. You know, respect your elders. And it's like, you know, he would know better. And then you're always afraid that if you speak up, you'll be the outcast.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you'll just be thrown out. And especially if they're living there at any moment, they could be tossed. And then where do they go?
Right.
You know, just like dancing, when you go dancing, no one tells you anything. The trauma, what you're dealing with, the molester men.
What you're going to expect,
Exactly.
the violence, being attacked. Yeah.
Everything, like how to hustle, that guys are going to want to take you home, you know, how to avoid that, especially when you're a new dancer.
Right.
You know, I can't imagine going to the Playboy Mansion at a young age and just going along with everything, you know. Like there was at one point where they said those twin sisters on their 19th birthday had to have sex with him. Like two sisters. That's weird to me. But they did it. They could have said, hey, not with my sister, you know, if you want to do it one-on-one,
Yeah.
you know.
You know what's funny is that in that second episode, they start showing clips of some of the different people who were involved, like Bridget. And I don't know who it was specifically in the clip that they showed, but they asked her, and because she was one of the girlfriends, they asked, do the other girls have sex with Hefner? And she was like, I don't know. It seems like she was definitely being persuaded to answer those questions specifically. So yeah, so that was really weird. But you know, knowing now that he had that level of control over them, that makes sense that they would answer that way.
Well, they have a podcast now, Holly and Bridget. And I haven't specifically listened, but I read some notes on it where she was saying that Bridget said she wanted to go first in the sexual romp because she felt like there was less STDs that way.
Yeah, that's so crazy that he refused to wear protection. And I mean, it makes sense that he would try to control the girls as much as possible because he probably didn't want to get STDs or get more STDs or something, you know, potentially HIV or whatever. And the only way that really he could control that without having to strap up would be to make sure that his girls weren't out getting infected.
But the problem is they're inviting all the new models in the bedroom.
That's true.
And that's another thing. She was like, well, I'm hoping that they're tested. No. She knows. Why would she say that? She knows they're not getting tested.
Right.
I mean, even I got invited into the bedroom. They don't know me.
Right.